So I'm Mike Caulfield. This is Your Attention Has Been Hacked. It's just an introduction to one of the many ideas that we're dealing with in the digital polarization initiative, but I hope it will prompt some discussion. So if you think back to your dystopian vision, your information apocalypse, it often looks very much like the novel 1984. It looks Orwellian, right? And that's whether you read 1984 or your favorite young adult dystopian novel, or if you look at some of the discourse that we currently have around information. In that model, your problem is access to information. You have limited access to any information. You have limited access to publishing, to platforms of speech. Your mind is shaped by the restriction of access to information, right? And in this world, the critical reader has to look closely and deeply at the limited materials that they are given and find the inner contradictions, right? So you notice that the government told you last week that we were always at war with East Asia, and this week they're telling you that we were never at war with East Asia. That's a contradiction there. You're going to use your powers of critical thinking to dig into that and reveal that the government may be lying to you. That's not the world we live in right now. In 2018, we have a filter problem. In this world, users are overwhelmed by information, and it's attention, not access, that is the scarcity. Minds are shaped by the hacking of cognitive overload. And the critical reader in this world must decide among a confusing array of options as to what to read, as to what to give their attention to before they even read it, right? It's not that they have limited things that they have to dig deeply into. It's that they have an almost infinite array of things that they can apply their focus and attention to, and they must decide where to apply that attention. These decisions often have to be made in seconds. And here is an important point. If you're reading disinformation in this world, they've won, because attention is the scarcity. If you spend an hour thinking deeply about some white supremacist propaganda that has come to you in your stream, they have captured your attention. They have captured your most precious resource. And you won't come out of that experience smarter than before. So what do? We make the case that we need to provide a set of techniques to students that help them sort and filter information and do so very, very quickly in a way that does not resemble anything that we have done to date. Here are a couple of the ones that we do. This is investigate the source. You come to this site here. You think, maybe I'd like to share this. You do a quick search on it. And you find that it's a white supremacist publication. Now, does that mean you can't find something else that makes a similar point? Of course you can. The web is abundant. Go find another source. This may not be the source that you want to share with people, though, since to share it might do real harm to people. Find the original. Very often we see things that have come to us, a blog post about a press release about a quote about a scientific study. We go back, we trace that back to the source. And often when we find the original context, when we find the larger video, when we find the full set of photographs, a different story emerges. And then finally, check other coverage. If Ariana Grande dies tomorrow, you won't just find it on one blog. You'll go to Google News and you'll find that there are multiple sources reporting to this. So try to find other coverage of the event that you're looking at. Again, the point here is your attention has been hacked, and the real questions for people today is, to what do you give your attention? What do platforms put in front of you? How can small choices, right, online, slowly warp your worldview? How do you protect against that? Maybe some other deeper questions, like what does free speech look like in a world where attention and not access is the question? And that's my presentation.